everyone? Luke here. Hope you're doing well. This video, I want to talk about health fads, okay? Now, this is kind of making this because of the newest health fad that I've been noticing in the social media, which is the all-meat diet. That's right, all-meat diet. You've probably heard of this. Joe Rogan talks about it a lot. You know, Joe Rogan's a popular guy. Probably the most watched YouTuber, you know. He's got a lot of clout. He talks a lot about health, right? And Joe Rogan's actually right about a lot of things when it comes to health, right? Like the importance of eating meat, right? The importance of animal protein, eating whole foods and things like that. Another man that I, look up to and like on YouTube, Elliot Hulse, he's been talking about how he likes the all-meat diet. Jordan Peterson is another one, another proponent of the all-meat diet. He's talked about how it helped him overcome a lot of illnesses and things like that. And, you need to be wary of health fads, okay? So you may or may not have noticed, depends how long, you've been around, but even in my lifetime, I'm only 30 years old, and there's been a lot of different diets, health fads in my time, okay? And it goes in cycles, okay? So I remember when I was young, the biggest thing was no fat, okay? And so fat was bad. Fat was the devil, okay? So you want to avoid fat at all costs, and they were coming out with all these products that didn't have fat in them, right? Because fat was the thing that you needed to avoid, and fat was the cause of all illness, right? Especially animal fats, right? So they started pushing margarine and other things that were worse for you, because they started teaching you that eggs were bad and butter was bad, so you need to eat margarine, and which is basically just made out of soy and things like that, okay? And then there came the Atkins diet, okay? Which actually works, okay? The Atkins diet works if you want to lose weight, which is basically just almost no carbs, okay? So the Atkins diet came out, and a lot of people were doing the low carb thing, or no carbs, where you just basically just eat meat, cheese, and you keep your carbs below like 40 grams a day. Once you're on a maintenance, it's like below 40 grams a day. And that was the latest health fad for a while, was the Atkins diet, okay? And then it was vegetarianism, okay? And then it was veganism, and then it was raw vegan. Raw vegan was all the rage for a few years. And then now, people are realizing, being raw vegan is terrible for your health, especially for your children. It's basically child abuse. And people's healths are falling apart on these raw vegan diets, okay? So now, the biggest thing is you flip-flop to the completely other side of the spectrum. It's instead of the all fruit diet, raw vegan, it's the all-meat diet. That's the newest thing, okay? And even things like, keto, which is also big right now. Keto is just the Atkins diet, okay? So back when I was young, and the Atkins diet was all the rage for a few years, which is basically just low carb, but now it's relabeled, they relabel it as keto, okay? Which is it's just the Atkins diet, it's low carb, okay? You can replace a lot of these with just low carb, okay? Atkins diet, keto, even like some paleo things, like it's just low carb, okay? Paleo not so much. It's just a rebranding of the Atkins diet, okay? Which was, that was a big thing when I was like 12, 13. And so, yeah, now we go from one side of the spectrum to the other. We flip-flop, It goes from fats are bad to no, fats are good, carbs are bad. And it's not that simple. You need to be wary of all these fads. You need to realize what's going on and how it just keeps going. It's just the media, and it just keeps going in cycles, okay? Because they want you to buy their products, whatever it may be. It's just the flavor of the week, okay? But whatever goes out of fashion is whole foods, okay? You need to eat whole foods. And if you want to learn, what we should be eating, it's a good idea to look at older generations, okay? It's good to look at, especially like native people, okay? Indigenous people, which is like what Weston Price did, okay? And he found that most indigenous people, they ate cooked meat, cooked vegetables. They might have eaten like nuts and berries and things like that sparingly, but mostly it was, they all about a white person. I'm white. Think about going back 500 years to when it was still, Native Americans, for the most part, on this continent. And then you go to the tribe and you tell them meat is bad for you. Okay, guys, you shouldn't be eating the bison and the deer and all these things. Okay, you're killing yourselves because you're in such bad health. Because you're eating animal protein. First of all, these indigenous people were much healthier than the bodies today. Okay, the bodies are the sickest they've ever been. The bodies of these people were much stronger and healthier. You can go because you can dig up their skulls. You can look at their teeth. There's ways that you can look at the skeletons of these indigenous people. You can tell that they were healthier, right? Bigger teeth, bigger jaws. There's just ways to go about it. Okay, you can use the scientific method. Amazing, I know. And these people were much healthier than we are today. And they were all eating animal protein. Okay, they would scoff at you. None of these indigenous people would take you seriously if you told them that they shouldn't be eating animals off of the land. Okay, and so it's ridiculous to think that all of a sudden meat's bad. Okay, especially think of like the Caucasian race, people that live in like Finland, Norway, Sweden. You don't have access. These people didn't have access to fruit or berries or any of this stuff. Okay, they had to have animal protein. Okay, and then maybe some root vegetables. That was mostly their diet. It was like root vegetables and animal protein. Because you live in a super northern climate. Okay, you're not living on the equator. Okay, why do you think white people have white skin? It's because they live where there's less sun. And so your ancestors, especially if you're a white person, they were eating dairy. Okay, they were eating raw dairy, they were eating meat, and they were eating like vegetables. Okay, there's no fruit in Norway, basically. Okay, there's some berries maybe and things like that. But you have to use your logical mind. Okay, and then it's naive and it's egotistical to think that we are healthier than those people. Okay, you're not. We just think we're healthier because we have Google and we can Google the answers, and we have our smartphones that someone else built for us, and we have access to a lot of information. So we fool ourselves with our ego into thinking that we're healthier and even smarter than a lot of indigenous people. But being able to use your smartphone and going on Facebook does not make you smarter. Now, having access to information, of course, is great, but we lack intuition in our bodies. Okay, so you need to be wary of health fads. Okay, and you should be wary of people that need to tell you to completely avoid like a macro. Okay, so like people say carbs are bad. It's not that simple. Okay, we know if you watch these videos in Nutritional Balancing Science that carbs are better for slow oxidizers compared to fats, right? Where slow and fast oxidizers need more fats. And so it depends on your metabolism, and it's not as simple as fat's bad, carbs good, or vice versa. Or some people think or protein's bad. Okay, you should pay much more attention. The quality of the food is always going to be more important than the macros. Okay, now it's true that in the system that we use, we do recommend some people eat more carbs, some people eat a little less carbs, some people eat more fat, a little bit less fat. Some people need more animal protein, right? Like, say you're an athlete, you're going to need more animal protein because you're breaking down your muscle fibers more, okay? Because you're a professional athlete, right? And you're out there, you're lifting a lot of weights, and you're playing football or whatever, right? And so the quality of the food matters much more instead of the macros, okay? Our society becomes obsessed with macros. I think that's the key to health. That's only a minuscule part of health is the macros, the carb, dividing your food into carbs, fats, and protein, okay? The quality and wholeness of the food is much more important. Eating raw dairy compared to, pasteurized dairy, homogenized dairy, that's much more important. Eating grass-fed beef compared to, other beef that's, what's cows fed on grains, that's more important. Eating whole foods that haven't been processed, instead of eating Cheetos and, cold cereal full of sugar and, Taco Bell and fast food and things like that. Eating whole foods, okay, is much more important, okay, than the macros that you're getting from Taco Bell. You can follow a certain diet and hit your macros and lose weight but it's not going to make you healthy, okay? Only eating nutrient-dense whole foods are going to make you healthy. And this has been true since the end of time, okay? Humans have always thrived off of nutrient-dense whole foods, okay? Nothing has changed about us, only our information and the way we gather information and the truths that we think, that we hold dear or have changed, okay? And then you realize how powerful the media is, because the media just goes in these cycles. You can dig up articles in the mainstream media from the 70s, the 80s, 90s. They just go in circles, okay? You can read these newspaper clippings and these magazine articles where they'll talk about, the new science that say fats are bad, or the new science that say carbs are bad, or the new science that says you shouldn't eat that much protein. It's ridiculous. And it's just part of our consumer society. And it's part of us lacking wisdom and intuition. It's too much head energy, right? And so we read about veganism and we think it's a good idea because we're so up in our heads and we're gathering the information into our heads instead of listening to your body. If you're in touch with your body will tell you that you need animal protein. That's it. Okay? If you've convinced yourself that you don't need animal protein, you are out of touch with your body and you're too much in your head. That's the truth, period, end of story. Okay? And so think about that next time you fall for one of these fads. Okay? You need to bring energy back into your body. Okay? Use your own intuition. You listen to your body and what it needs. And realize what's going on and recognize the patterns. Anyways, I hope that helps you guys out. Leave your comments. Don't forget to subscribe.